Hello everyone and welcome to another Strategy Masterclass episode. Really appreciate you taking the time to watch these. Today we're going to be exploring a key element of building strategic plans. It sits within the external analysis portion of the work that we do, and it's on Porter's 5 forces and also on PESTEL analysis. So let's dive into it and take a look. To begin with, we're going to look at the Porter's 5 forces model. This is a framework that comes from Michael Porter and is one of the critical elements when we develop strategic plans. Porter's 5 forces is showing that within a specific market, profitability and value creation are determined by 5 external forces. We have the threat of new entrants, which is the likelihood of a new market player entering or disrupting an industry and the players that are currently there. The power of buyers, which is the bargaining strength of the buyers of a particular product or service. The threat of substitutes, which is the existence of substitute products or services, as well as the likelihood that a potential buyer will switch to this substitute product. And then the power of suppliers, the degree of leverage a supplier has with its customers in areas such as price, quality, and service. And all of these ultimately impact upon the competitive rivalry. The competitive rivalry is the rivalry among firms that addresses how fiercely they compete with each other along dimensions of price, service, new product introductions, promotion, advertising, and more. So these are 5 critical components which at a high level, we want to understand the intensities which they affect us as an organization and also our competitors, the market. Now within each of these, there's a level of analysis that can be conducted. So within competitive rivalry, for example, we can look at existing competitors, industry growth, product differentiation, switching costs, exit barriers, all the way through to within the threat of substitutes, for example, price and indirect costs, buyer price sensitivity, buyer switching costs. These are all specific granular elements that sit within each component of Porter's 5 forces that are part of the work that we do on market assessment, understanding the external market out there, understanding the forces at play. Now, a very important secondary component of market assessment that we conduct is trend analysis. Looking and understanding what are the trends that are at play in different markets and how do they impact us, as well as how do they impact our competitors. So let's take a look at those. So now let's take a look at the PESTEL analysis, which is the second component of understanding market attractiveness. The PESTEL analysis is another classic strategy framework that you've probably heard about before, perhaps you've used, perhaps you haven't, but let's dive into it now. So the PESTEL analysis looks at macro environmental factors that influence the performance of a market space and can be explored using this particular framework. There are 6 key elements to the PESTEL, 1 for each letter, P, E, S, T, E, L. These range from political through economic, social, technological, environmental, and legal. Let's take a look at each of them in isolation now. Firstly, we have political trends. These are trends that can impact our organization and also impact the market, so our competitors, either positively or negatively, and they relate to political areas. So this could link to government policies, government decisions, it could relate to funding or grants or inter-country relationships, for example. The second element is economic. The E is for economic. These are economic trends that could be related to economic situations, big global trends, perhaps inflation, perhaps taxation, perhaps interest rates. These are economic elements that can really impact us and also impact the market. The S stands for social. So this is related to demographics, related to people. Perhaps it's related to their consumer buying habits. Perhaps it's related to how they are impacted by celebrities or politicians or the influence of people around the world. Perhaps it's related to major events and major influences. The T is for technological. And technological are emerging technologies, potentially mature technologies, access to new technologies, new innovation that may impact us, may impact our customers, and may impact our competitors. The second D is for environmental. And as you could probably guess, it's related to environmental considerations, weather changes, climate change, huge impactful weather events. It could also be related to environmental policies or pressure from NGOs. And finally, we have the L, which stands for legal. Legal are trends that relate to future legislation, current legislation, employment law, consumer protection, all the way through to health and safety, regulations and competitive regulations. Now, all of these trends, whether political, economic, social, technological, environmental, or legal, are very, very important because they could impact our business positively or negatively, and then it can impact the wider industry and our competitors positively or negatively. And there could be certain trends which have a positive impact for us, but a negative impact for the industry. For example, if we source a product or source materials from a certain part of the world, and now that part of the world is booming, and our competitors source materials from another part of the world where there is conflict and there are challenges in getting that material out of there, that's positive for us, but it's negative for them, or vice versa. So we always need to have consideration of what the trend is, the extent to which it impacts us and impacts the market, and also if it is positive or negative for us, and then positive or negative for our competitors and for the industry as a whole. And then we can use those elements to start to build a better picture of how attractive the market is, and then how we're going to go about playing or not playing in that particular area. So this is just a very quick, very high level introduction to Porter's 5 forces and also PESTEL analysis. These are two components of understanding market attractiveness, which sits inside a module that we call external analysis. Hope you enjoyed this video and look forward to seeing you for the next one. Thank you.